Mark Leibovich, a reporter for The Atlantic, had the opportunity to sit down with Donald Trump during his campaign for president. But I'm not talking about this year's campaign, and I'm not even talking about the 2020 presidential campaign. I am talking about the 2016 presidential campaign, actually, technically, the 2015 Republican primary campaign, the very first real race that Donald Trump ever ran in. Because again, he did run in 2000, and that fizzled out very quickly. But in 2015, Mark Leibovich had the chance to sit down with Donald Trump, and Trump told him then, which Leibovich is only now, telling us, what he really thought about the Republicans and other politicians that he would be running against in the Republican primary. And it gives us a really good picture as to why Donald Trump is the way he is today. But here's what Leibovich said he told him a long time ago. He said, Trump said that he was used to dealing with, quote, brutal, vicious killers, which was his view of people in the real estate and gambling industries, not actually real killers. But Trump, in contrast, he told me politicians are saps and weaklings, and then said, I will roll over them. Trump, according to Leibovich, understood the mentality of Republican politicians and former critics like Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio, becoming his staunch defenders. He then said, Leibovich writes, I'd thought that maybe 2024 would be the year the GOP finally began some semblance of a post-Trump future. At the very least, new voices of resistance had to finally assert themselves. Yet, the speed with which Trump had settled back into easy dominance of his party has been both remarkable and entirely foreseen, in fact, by Trump himself. Because if there's one recurring lesson of the Trump-era GOP, it's this. Never underestimate the durability of a demagogue with a captive base, a desperate will to keep going, and perhaps most of all, a feeble and terrified opposition of spineless ciphers. So in 2015, Donald Trump told Leibovich, listen, these are saps, these are weaklings that I'm going against in the Republican primary. Again, people like Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, all of them. Saps and weaklings, Donald Trump said. I will roll over them. And of course he did. But he rolled over them by bullying them. Getting up on that debate stage for the first time in 2015, in the summer of 2015 when they had their first debate, just annihilating everybody else, not with facts, not because he's a better debater, but because he just insulted everybody on that stage, and everybody watching it thought, that's pretty funny, that's kind of cool. But then he did it again and again and again, propelling himself to victory in the Republican primary. So then 2020 comes along, Trump tries the same tactic. This time it doesn't work. He didn't have to go through a primary fight, but because of how poorly he handled the COVID situation, nobody wanted to hear his bullying. Nobody wanted to hear his bravado, his, steamrolling everybody. We were tired of it. 4 years later, he's doing the same thing. And this time, the public has seemingly apparently forgotten about his mishandling of COVID, which I do believe is what cost him 2020. And so I think more people are buying it today than they did in 2020, but it's still not enough. Recently, one of these polling analysts, I think it was a Republican strategist, pointed out the fact that Donald Trump has never broken 47% support. Even when Biden's campaign crapped out and he had to drop out, Trump never breached 47% of the public supporting him in his re-election attempt. Because he's using those same 2015, 2016, and 2020 tactics. I think I can steamroll everybody. I think I can be this big bad bully and show these saps and weaklings how it's done. Some people still buy it. Most of the public does not. And Donald Trump can't get it through his brain that it simply doesn't work. The novelty of it has worn off. People don't want the bombastic, belligerent a-hole anymore. They do want a sophisticated person who knows how to speak in complete sentences at something higher than a fourth grade level. But that's what they get with Trump. And again, shockingly enough, it has served him kind of well so far in 2024. but it only took him to that top of 47%, a top that he cannot get over now. So, it is what it is. He knew it worked in 2015. He predicted it would work in the future. It did for a while, but now he's stuck in that same mindset, can't break himself out of it, and it could be what dooms his campaign this November. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.